Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more 9-rep continuing, well, the school ghost stories kind of arc at the moment, on our way to Kureha's route. But, yeah, we just grabbed Mirror Boy. We don't know his name yet. We know his name, but she doesn't know his name. You know what I mean? Hopefully you can hear my washing machine. It's loud as shit. So if I'm screaming at you, it's because I'm trying to talk over the washing machine that is loud as hell right now. Like, I don't know why it feels so loud to me, but anyway. You can never hear it, but like, it just feels exponentially louder than normal, but... And so, we wanted you to tell us your name. Would you mind? That's right. Okay, so we were just explaining to him. We just yanked him out of the mirror, and then we had a little transition with that was supposed to be like us explaining everything to him. So cool. He fell silent and again started staring at the ground. Well, I don't belong in this world either, so I'll help you. It might even lead us to getting closer. Still thinking about that, huh? No, nothing like that. I just want a pure friendship with her. No touching, I promise. Something about the way you say that makes me think like, lies, but that's okay. Well, alright then. Just don't get carried away. Kureha spoke casually, and yet, I trust him. He'll be fine. Who's this for, though? Because I feel like I trust him is like, I trust Hibiki, right? But then, like, he'll be fine is like, Kureha, you'll be fine. Like, so... I want affection with Kureha, so, but I'm not really sure which, like... I feel like because the sentence is specifically directed at Kureha that it should be, I trust him, like, but that, again, feels like I'm trusting Hibiki and not Kureha, you know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure, so, that was I trust him, okay. Yeah, see, but we're getting, I guess, in a way, you're getting affection up for both of them right now. I wonder, though, I don't want to check with the guide. I don't want to, like, scroll down and see, because I don't want to ruin choice options later. Not that it matters, but, like, sometimes I like to, you know, what would I pick here, or what do I think, and then I'm always wrong. But, like, so I don't want to risk seeing answers, but I'm curious, because we're getting affection up with both of them, and it's like, is there going to be a point where... do we choose the route? Like, okay, you have both of them, pick one. Or, because, like, what would be the point of getting the affection up? But right now we're getting affection up with both of them. So it's kind of almost like, how is Hibiki's route going to be different? I mean, I know a lot of this is going to be the same because it's the common kind of area for both of them. But, like, it's almost like we have a common route saved where we can just start. So we can just pick that option to go down a different, you know, urban legends, school ghost story, whatever path. But it almost feels like the way this is setting up, like you're getting your affection with both of them equally so that later you can just create a save file so you can just start Hibiki's route from there instead of having to skip. You know what I mean? Isn't that what it feels like? But, yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. I trust him. I can tell he won't give in to his desires anymore. You said you came to your senses, right? You looked pretty serious about that when you said it. His gaze was always timid and shifty, but when he said those words to me, his gaze was straightforward and earnest. Which is why I chose to believe him. It makes me really happy to hear you trust me. Thank you. And I want you to know it's not just because you're alive. I'm drawn to you as a person, too. That's me. I was laughing awkwardly. You're making me blush. It does make me happy, though. But, Kureha, are you going to be okay with all this? Yeah, I've been drawn to her from the very beginning. As a person, though, not as a member of the living. Huh? I mean, I really like how they're just going balls out with this. Like, yes, okay, there's like oh, they're drawn to you because you're alive, and that's why he's getting like all handsy with you and whatever, and you're like, okay, sure. But like, Kureha's over there like, no, she said she felt sorry for me, and I was like instantly in love with her. I, I, sir, I'll allow it because awesome for me. And then you got awkward mirror boy over here who's like, I'm gonna pull you into the mirror with me. It was like a little clingy and weird because you're a living being, but is also probably like thinking you're cute and shit. And it's like, wow, the game is like, there's not gonna be any building to it's like, they're just in love with you right now. Just maybe mostly because you're alive, but also just because. Cause like, you know that's where it's going anyway, so like, why beat around the bush? Okay. I'm not complaining. I'm not at all. You're like, okay, I feel like we've only been here for a couple hours, but sure. Like, I'm curious though. Does it feel a little odd to anyone? Like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with insta-love. It's fine by me. I don't have a problem with it. But like, your thoughts? Are you like, whoa, this is going really fast for the game that is actually pretty lengthy? You know? I mean, maybe the routes individually aren't super long, but like, because you got to go to 4 common routes in a way, it's longer. I mean, I don't know. So like, you got to think you're going to be spending at least 10 plus hours doing your first route. You know what I mean? Because like, if it's a 60 to 70 hour game, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be kind of lengthy because you got to go through, and I'm assuming that's with skipping all the stuff that you've already read. So like, and you know it's going to take us even longer. So like, huh. So it's just interesting that the romance is like, well, okay, with Kureha. Nobody else is like, and Hibiki's a little like, but it could just be because you're living, but also he's like, hasn't spoken to anyone in fucking forever. So like, you know, his little attraction for you is like, you're alive and warm. And also like, but also it's nice to actually speak to someone. So like, you know, it might not be like insta love with him, but Kureha over here is like head over fucking heels already. Like, sir, shit, you move fast. Man, you move fast for a 1940s 49 man. Like, shit. He's like, I've grown accustomed to modern times. Let's not beat around the bush. Anyway. I guess as a person, there's no need to read too much into it. That's what you mean. The way you spoke made me happy. It's like he thinks I'm a good person. And pretty, but... That's so cool. It's totally not fair. I wouldn't say that. Anyway, we should get back to the task at hand. Right, yes. The boy turned to face me again and looked directly into my eyes. Then, I'm one of the 7 wonders, known as the Grasp of the Mirror. But my real name is Hibiki. I hope you'll remember it. Hibiki, one of the Norimigahama High School... Guys! It's like I can get Norimigahama and then high schools, but like, because I'm struggling to say it, that I can't even say high school afterward normally. One of Norimigahama High School's 7 wonders. By the time we get to the end of this, I might be able to manage it. The spirit mentioned... Oh... The spirit mentioned in the grasp of the mirror. He always seems afraid of something and is constantly on guard. I mean, if he was murdered, I wouldn't be surprised by that. He's attracted to the living and is occasionally emotionally unstable. Well, again, probably actually a teenage boy, right? Was strangled to death, clearly. I'm assuming, too, because you can see, like, it looks like a bruise underneath his collar. You know what I mean? And that makes sense because he was strangled to death. So, like, you know what I mean? And because Kureha has, like, a stab wound. So, like, you know. So I kind of like, that's not just like, oh, we just put a noose around his neck so you know that, like, someone strangled him to death. It was like you see the bruise, and one of the other characters kind of has one, like, so you can kind of notice that. So it's like kind of interesting. Like, that's kind of like the mark of their death in a way. Like, aside from the news. Hibiki. Thank you for sharing. I'll be sure to call you Hibiki from now on. The way you talk. Oh, I don't know why I was giving him the wrong voice. The way you talk, it's so formal. It makes me feel so old. But we're the same age, right? I had a feeling we were about the same age. Well, minus the fact that you died in 1949, but... Alright, I'll speak more casually then. Yes, thank you. It's been ages since someone called me by my name. It makes me so happy. Huh. I know what you mean. I've had other ghosts call me by name, but hearing a member of the living say it warms my heart. I see. So I guess they usually talk about each other using their rumor names. Hibiki, seemingly overflowing with joy, moved closer to me. I'd like to help too if I can. Yes, thank you. That would be very helpful. Agreed. It'd be best to have another person who's able to watch over her. I'll do everything I can to be useful. Looks like you're no longer a shut-in trapped in the mirror. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. But I can do things inside the mirror. I can see through mirrors connected to this one. Connected mirrors? What's that? Mirrors on this side of the world have counterparts inside the mirror world. Oh, I see. That's incredible. Does that mean you can travel between those mirrors too? I can only move through this large mirror. There's a unique spell that's been cast upon it. A spell? Can Hibiki use magic? Also, it's kind of interesting because if, like, Kureha moves around the school, was stabbed clearly, whatever, but he moves freely through the school. Like, and they were all obviously murdered in that mansion or whatever, but like, if Hibiki was strangled to death, they, like, you know what I mean? Like, why is he in a mirror? Why did they trap him in a mirror? And also, how did the mirror end up in school? Because, like, this was, like, a mansion. So then, like, the mansion obviously got torn down and they built the school. So, like, how did he end up... Like, everybody else is just roaming around. How did he end up stuck in a mirror that's in the school if he was murdered in a mansion? Was he stuck in the mirror? I mean, maybe they'll explain that. But it's, like, one of those, like... I mean, honestly, regardless, even if he hung himself in school, whatever, 5 years ago or whatnot, it's kind of like, how did you end up in the mirror? Question mark. But you died, like, 70 years ago, well, God, even more than, like, you know what I mean? Well, this game must be old, because 70 years ago would have been, what, 2019? Be like 75 years ago. Holy shit. Like, yeah. Still, over 70 years ago. Oh, we'll just, okay, like, whatever. So, 3/4 of a century. Nearly a century ago. You're closer to a century ago than not, which is sad. But, like, if you died and ended up in the mirror in the mansion, how'd the mirror end up at the school and not anywhere else? Or... did someone trap you in the mirror after the school was built? I'm curious about that, and maybe they'll never tell you, so. But anyway. So, if you need to know something, just let me know. Like if you're searching for other ghosts, I can check the mirrors on the other side for you. That would be very helpful. I'll be sure to ask for your help then. Great. I'll do my best, so please count on me. So you'll be our informant, huh, Hibiki? Informant? That sounds really cool. Hibiki's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. When he doesn't have creepy face on, he's kind of adorable. He's actually pretty adorable. She's thinking the same thing I am. I'll give it my all, and feel free to talk to me whenever you want to chat or unwind. Well, that's a good idea.
It's not good to always be on edge. You'll have to make some time to relax, too.
I guess you're right. Overexerting my mental energy could be dangerous here. I'll have to relax, too.
Hibiki, there's something I've been wanting to ask you, but...
That's right. Kureha tried to chase him down and ask him something before. Whatever it is, it must be really important. I stepped back to give them some space.
How long have you been at this school?
Well, I've been here for quite a long time.
How long? Since 1949.
There's that year again.
I know your name. You were listed among the victims of the Divine Invocation incident.
The Divine Invocation incident? You mean that thing with Isao Tsukigami? Isao? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, if you don't know that much about it, perhaps it's just a coincidence. But someone who had the same name...
No, I do believe I was counted as one of the victims. I was kidnapped, at least. I believe the name you saw is mine, Kureha.
What do you mean you believe you were counted as a victim?
Because he didn't kill me. I died from hanging myself. Oh, okay, so he did himself. He spoke with a smile, causing Kureha and I to recoil, speechless. Do you think, though, that person... Okay, so it's not the daughter, but the daughter was the one spirited away. So, if it was her dad, I'm assuming, did it for her benefit or something? Or maybe she is the one who did it and they just assume. I don't know. But anyway. But like, if they were all brought here to be murdered, maybe either Hibiki was like, nah, because we saw when she grabbed him the his basically willingness and wanting to die in a way. Like, it was like, oh, okay. So he either was like, okay, sure, I'll go along with this because he was already suicidal to begin with, which is just sad. Or was like, they're gonna murder me, I'm gonna take myself out, screw that. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. The rope around his neck suddenly felt so raw to me. I'm scared, but it's okay. I have to die. Yeah, it seems like he was willing. I couldn't tell when I first saw the images, but was that voice Hibiki? I assumed. There's no need to look so upset. I did this for myself. It was for the best. Committing suicide was for the best? Kind of light on the heavy topics here. His voice choked with tears, but he wore a confounding smile on his face. Could it be... Were you murdered by Isao Tsukigami?
No, I don't believe I had anything to do with the incident. My name wasn't among the victims, but I believe I died at the Tsukigami household.
Huh? Okay, wait, this is getting weirder now. Because he was basically like, yeah, okay, I died, like, made it seem like there were 6 people that were murdered, but you're not one of them. But also, he kind of does dress like he came from way before 1949, so all I'm saying, you know. You think?
Well, some of my memories are missing. I don't know how or why I died.
When Kureha talked about the Divine Invocation incident, he said he was alive in 1949. Well, he could have been a ghost in 1949 and was here. Does that mean he lived up until that year? I was again reminded of the Karakara rumor. If he's asking, what have I done? Do you think that means he has amnesia? That's what I always heard, but I don't remember ever hearing why he doesn't remember. The details were different, but considering that he didn't have his memories, I guess it really is like the rumors. If you have no memory, what makes you think that you died at the Tsukigami household?
Part of it's because when I woke up as a ghost, I was at the Tsukigami household. I don't know how to explain it, but I sense that I died there.
Well, okay. Well, you could have died on the property. You know what I mean? But, You think you were murdered before they did the Divine Invocation incident?
When did you awaken as a ghost? Was it after you heard about the divine invocation incident? No, it was before the incident got the divine invocation name.
Kureha stared up at the sky as if deep in thought. This is fun, though. I like the mystery that we're unraveling here.
I had no idea what happened to me, and I looked around the Tsukigami household trying to find out how I died, but there were no survivors. Only a multitude of unrecognizable corpses. Well, I couldn't find my body anywhere.
So... you couldn't find your body anywhere in that... so he probably died before the incident. Because I was, like, concerned for a hot second. I'm like, what if he's the one that killed everybody? You know what I mean? But then they killed him. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we need an assassin. We're going to hire you to kill these people for us. And then they killed him to, like, cover up their shit. But, like, at the same time, if you were trying to make ghosts and you were willing to kill a fuck ton of people, I don't think you'd be like, I need to have someone else do it for me. I think you're crazy enough to stab a bunch of people yourself. You know what I mean?
Isao Tsukigami's death seemed recent. His eyes were black with tears of blood.
The fear was too much for me, and I covered my ears.
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have told you this. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm fine.
What a fitting end for Isao Tsukigami.
Huh? Hibiki laughed as though he found the whole thing deeply satisfying. Not looking at all surprised, Kureha just sighed heavily. I mean, if you were kidnapped and the man was going to kill you and you were like, okay, I'll just hang myself, I guess, I don't think you'd be too upset about the person who was forcing you to kill yourself died. Just saying.
Oh, you became a ghost after you died and stayed here the whole time. And I assume you saw me wander in the Tsukigami household.
Well, I went somewhere else right after I died. So no, I didn't see you. That's also why I didn't know the name of the incident. I was rather out of touch with what was happening in the world.
Is that so?
Interesting. I'm sorry I can't be more helpful. If I hadn't gone elsewhere, maybe I could have seen you.
That's alright. Thank you for listening.
With that, Kureha smiled slightly, but knowing what he was thinking, I felt terribly sad for him. I wonder if we're really going to find out, like, at least in this arc, what happened to the two of them. Because I'm assuming that maybe our other characters aren't related to this particular incident. This is related to the school. Like, yes, Seiya is going to be kind of overarching in different things, being the, like, guardian or watchman of hell or whatever he is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's going to be like, well, he had nothing to do with this incident, isn't one of the 7 wonders of the school, so, like, you know what I mean? Like, this whole thing is going to be a different arc than everything else. So, like, when we go down, say, the Urban Legends one, it has nothing to do with the 7 wonders at school and this whole school plot. It's going to be a whole different mystery. You know what I mean? He's been wandering, searching for his memories for the last 70 years. Or more. Of course. Honestly, it makes me happy to have someone to talk to about it. Hibiki, too, spoke with a smile, and yet I couldn't even begin to imagine all he'd gone through. He was a victim of the divine invocation incident and committed suicide. I hadn't said anything until this point, but I finally gathered the courage to ask them about something that had been bothering me. This Isao Tsukigami person, is he the man behind the divine invocation incident? I don't know, I think it might have been girl.
Yeah, that's how it was reported, at least.
How it was reported. I don't think it was him. I think it was his daughter doing it. And he ended up dead, and they blamed it because he was... Kureha turned to look at Hibiki. I didn't see his face directly, but there's no doubt that the culprit was Isao Tsukigami. At least, that's what I heard. Heard. I think it was her. Because again, you know what I mean? She was like, I was spirited away. She said she, like, conjured up all the spirits or whatever at her, I swear she said at her school, but she never went to this school if she's Yui Tsukigami or whatever he said her name was. Um, right? And then she ended up in hell. And then Seiya was trying to help her, but then she ended up dead. And it's like, well, where do you... I feel like if you gathered up a bunch of people and murdered them for the purposes of trying to... whatever weird ritual you were doing, you'd probably end up in hell. Seems logical. I'm just saying. So I don't know if I trust her, however nice she is. You know? Interesting. There was something odd about the way Hibiki was acting, so I hesitated to press further. But if I don't ask, I don't think I'll be able to prepare my mind. And, can I ask one more thing? What's his relation to the girl named Yui Tsukigami? Kureha's expression clouded over, and Hibiki didn't hide his frown. She was Isao Tsukigami's only daughter. After she went missing, Isao Tsukigami lost his mind. He was always mumbling about a sacrifice, claiming Yui would be returned to him if he went through with the ritual. Okay, so now it sounds like she went missing. So maybe she did. So she went missing before he murdered everybody here. Okay. Well, I mean, okay. I mean, that kind of fits into the story of, like, we got spirited away, so we have to conjure up the 7 spirits that are here in order to get back, to do our own, like, reverse spiriting away. So that's what he was trying to do. But, like, so then maybe she did have, like, ghosts that were at her school, but it's just really convenient. Like, it could just be like a plot thing. They were like, yeah, don't worry about that. Where it's like, you had X amount of ghosts at your school, and then you went around and collected all their names so you could get spirited away for whatever reason, and then your dad went crazy, created these spirits, and now we have to do... You know what I mean? Like, it's just really convenient that there just happens to be so many ghosts at these schools. But it would be in the same area, so... And Narimigahama was like a hot spot for like occult activities, so fair enough that maybe she also had ghosts. And she didn't say 7, so like it could have been like she had 4 ghosts or something. You know what I mean? Who knows? So, okay. I don't know. I still don't know if I trust that she's not the one who did it to get spirited away, because how'd she end up in hell? I don't know. Or her dad was doing some weird she claims she did it to herself, the spiriting away thing. So, I don't know. We'll see. I feel like they're telling us this because it's either this is the truth or it's to misdirect us so that we don't think Yui killed all these people. But Hibiki's memories, why would he be remembering the father talking about a sacrifice? Well, but you heard him talking about a sacrifice to get his daughter back, but how would you have heard that unless you were already dead? Haunting the mirror, you know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of these little pieces, and I just don't know how they fit together yet. Anyway. A sacrifice?
Rumors say Isao thought his daughter was taken away by spirits.
Kinda was.
He believed sacrifices to the gods would bring her back.
Kureha's voice trailed off.
He kidnapped people and killed them, using them as sacrifices.
But again... Well, unless... But everybody was found dead around the same time. Right? So...
Even the name, the Divine Invocation Incident, makes my blood boil. But I guess that's exactly what it was.
Which is really funny because it's making you angry, but you willingly hung yourself. So, like... Bro, I'm a little concerned about you. Definitely concerned about your mental stability. I think we should be if you were willing to hang yourself, but now you're mad about it, which is... I mean, you were kidnapped and maybe forced to do it, so, like, maybe you're mad about it, but it's still, like, but you kind of let you, mate, you know? Okay. Anyway, moving on. There's a lot of holes here. I feel like it's supposed to be like a Swiss cheese plot right now. I'm not mad about it. I'm just very confused, so... The sacrifices were meant to summon gods to the mortal realm. Divine Invocation Incident 2. The culprit of the incident was revealed to be the head of the Tsukigami family, Isao Tsukigami. When his only daughter Yui went missing, he concluded she was spirited away, which, if we're going with this as fact and not just to throw us off, she was spirited away. So he believed that if he offered a replacement for his daughter, the gods would return her to him, and he proceeded to abduct 6 people and offer them as sacrifices to the gods. Hibiki was also a victim, but he committed suicide before he was killed as an offering. Okay. It is said that Isao Tsukigami died mysteriously in his mansion, but no one knows how. And I don't know if I still believe that... I'm still not 100%. This could 100% be fact, but they make me doubt her story a little bit. But okay, so that at least explains the Hibiki thing. Like, he is pissed off because he volunteered, instead of being sacrificed, because who knew how brutal that's going to be, he took matters into his own hands. Like, fuck you, I'm not going to let you sacrifice me. Taking myself out. Fair enough. Can't say I wouldn't do the same thing. You know? I'm sorry. I should be heading back. Hibiki retreated back into the mirror and disappeared. Yeah? I dug up some truly terrible memories for him. I was immediately consumed with guilt. Yeah, poor thing. I'm wondering if he's hiding something or just misremembering things, but, I don't think that, I still, feel bad for him because, based on everything. You know what I mean? But... I don't know if it's necessarily hiding. I feel like he could possibly be misremembering if Yui was the one who murdered people. But this seems to fit and make sense. But I'm still not sure, 100% sure I trust her. Because how'd she wind up in hell? And she was maybe she was just I was just a curious girl. And I heard these stories about ghosts. So I went around and obviously, if her dad was trying to invoke gods in order to get his daughter back and whatever, maybe she had some psychic abilities or something, because that's not, we're in a realm where we're talking to ghosts, so it's not outside the possibilities. And Kureha was mentioning psychic ability. Wasn't he the one? Well, somebody was mentioning psychic abilities and we were like, what? I'm not psychic, huh? So it's not outside the realm of possibility that someone in our mortal realm had these abilities. So Yui could have had them going around. Maybe she didn't want to, maybe she thought being spirited away would be better because, hi! Think of all the stories you have where you're I could go live with a magician in a moving castle. Yeah, he's a little dramatic, but whatever. I could go live with a goblin king in a maze with a bunch of Muppets. Sounds awesome. And then you end up getting whisked away to hell. And you're well, fuck, no one told me that, you know? So possibly her story is 100% true. And she just doesn't want to say her name too, because then everyone will... It's because of her that they're all dead, whether she did it and everyone just thinks her father did it, or her father actually did it to save her. It's kind of her fault. But it's not really her fault, you know what I mean? If her father is the one that did it, but they're still going to kind of hold it against her. You know what I mean? So, So I'm not really sure which way it's really going to go. I mean, maybe they're being 100% true, but I just kind of feel like maybe they're trying to hide something with this. And here's what happened. And you're but is it? And they're no, you know? So we'll see.
Well, we should leave too.
Right. I glanced back at the mirror and whispered an apology, but I thought it unlikely Hibiki heard me. My guilt over Hibiki and the girl, Yui Tsukigami, muddied my emotions. I couldn't help but wonder if she knew the terrible things her father had done. I'm hesitant to ask her name. At a loss, I felt a wealth of dark emotions stirring up inside of me. New ghost. Ah, Hibiki's perspective. After returning to the mirror, I paused to catch my breath. I should have known better, but interacting with others really messed with my mind. Same for me interacting with ghosts. Anyway, hearing Kureha tell me how Isao Tsukigami died was oddly satisfying. Such a pathetic, ugly end. How would I have liked to have seen it? Oh, how I would have liked to have seen it. How I envied Kureha. Was his body desecrated? Was he consumed by divine wrath, perhaps? Well, whatever. My heart stirred at the day's good fortune. I felt warm and refreshed. I mean, you can't... It's like a little psychotic. You're like, wow, you're a little crazy. But at the same time, wouldn't you feel the same way if you were a ghost and after 70 fucking years you found out that the person that murdered you, or basically caused you to kill yourself so that you wouldn't be brutally sacrificed, died painfully and agonizingly? You'd be like, fuck yeah, good for him. Good for me. I hope it was awful. Wish I had seen it. You know, I can't really blame him for it. And then her smile came to mind. I should head back to the mirror. She might visit me again soon. I hope she comes back. I really want to see her again. Truth be told, I was still nervous my desire for her could go out of control again. But either way, I was glad to talk with her. She made me feel calm and warm. It wasn't warmth one feels on the skin. It was a gentle warmth, like the warm graces of the sun, the one that emanated from her. It was so wonderful. It made me feel so comfortable. This is such a blissful feeling. I wouldn't quite say I'm satisfied, but anyway, I'd best get back to the stairs. He's a little crazy, but, like, it's okay. He's still kind of adorable. And, like, you know, well, all of our boyfriends are ghosts, so we're all allowed to be a little crazy. I headed back to the nurse's office, but the girl was gone. So Kureha and I began searching the school for her. When we reached the second-floor hallway... Oh, who's screaming? I don't know who's screaming. You think an apology's enough, Yui Tsukigami? Hearing the name caught me off guard. Oh, it's coming from the cafeteria.
Let's hurry. Stay close.
With that, we quickly dashed to the cafeteria. There we saw the girl from before kneeling in front of an unfamiliar ghost.
Wait here. I'll go check it out.
Kureha dashed forward to intervene.
You're a victim of the divine invocation incident, right?
Oh, Kureha! I found Isao Tsukigami's daughter! That's her right there! I want revenge on Isao, but he's dead. His daughter will suffice. She must suffer!
What's wrong to take your anger out on her?
Why? If she didn't disappear, I wouldn't have been killed. If I can take my father's place, then I'll accept my fate. What is she saying? I know apologies aren't enough, so please, do as you wish. Okay, so, like, right now, I guess we're gonna take it at face value that, like, her dad killed everyone to try to get her back. You know. For now. For now. But I'm not 100% sure I believe it. But she's convincing, at least. Things were escalating quickly. I dashed toward Yui Tsukigami. I grabbed her arm and lifted her up. What are you...
Nice work. Now get her out of here.
Right. I pulled Yui as hard as I could and hurried out of the cafeteria. After we reached the nurse's office, I let out a long sigh. Are you all right? I'm fine. I'm just glad you're all right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you into this, too. I was just asking about the 7 wonders and things escalated. By the way, it turns out that girl isn't related to the 7 wonders. She'd always seemed rather calm and non-expressive, but she showed a rare display of emotion before. Okay, so interesting. There are 7 wonders in the school, but not all... Well, and we kind of, I guess, could have figured that. Not all of them are victims of the, well, Tsukigami murders, whoever murdered them. Right? Because Kureha was dead before it happened, so... Yui desperately wanted to make amends for her father's wrongdoings. Yeah, okay, I'd make sure I read that. Perhaps she thinks that if she hadn't been spirited away, none of this would have happened. I couldn't bear to see her this way. I swallowed down my guilt and spoke up. You don't have to help me anymore. Please. Huh? I hope this doesn't offend you, but I know what your father did. Yui looked away, then cast her gaze downward. know my name too, then. Yes. Yui sighed and our eyes met. No matter what you say, as soon as I leave this room, I'm going to continue helping you find the 7 wonders. But, of course helping you is part of it, but I have a responsibility here too. Based on what you saw earlier, you should have some idea, but that's just how things are. Could it be that you think apologizing to the victims is your responsibility? Yes, and I won't change my mind, no matter what you say. Oh, I mean, to be fair, but still fucked up, if she hadn't done whatever she did to get spirited away, her father would not have murdered all those people to get her back. However, just because she invoked some spirits and got spirited away does not give her father the right to murder people to get her back. Okay, it doesn't justify his actions. It's an explanation for his actions, but it's not a justification. Like, it's still, nothing will ever justify that. Like, you can see why she feels responsible and why everyone is mad at her, because if you hadn't gone missing, your father wouldn't have murdered me. But, like, it's not her fault that her father went, like, cuckoo bananas and killed you. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like if she was like, hey, you know what? I'm disowning my parents because they're awful scumbags, and then her parents go out and kidnap a bunch of people. It's not her fault that her parents kidnap people. You know, well, if you hadn't told your parents that you hated them, then they wouldn't have kidnapped other kids to try to replace you. And how was that my fault? So I'm supposed to stay and, like, suffer their abuse because they are psychos? You know what I mean? Like, but I can understand the other ghost being like, they gotta have someone to blame, and she's the closest thing here. And it's like, you're fucking with spirits and getting yourself spirited away is the direct result. Like, the direct result of that is me getting murdered, which isn't really, like, it is a fair conclusion, but not a fair conclusion, you know what I mean? It's a logical conclusion because that's how it worked out, but it's not really fair to blame her for it. But I can absolutely understand their thought process and, like, you know, and her feeling responsible because her actions kind of led to that result, unfortunately. But again, her actions leading to her father to take other actions, like, she's not responsible for his actions. You know what I mean? Like, I see the logic behind it, but it's also like, yeah, but it still doesn't make it her fault at any rate. I'm not blaming her for it. Well, maybe, because you don't know. If we're taking this as fact 100%, and they're telling us the truth, then yeah, it's not her fault at all. Okay? I can understand they want someone to be mad at, so they're going to track it back and go, where can I throw my blame? And she's the easiest target because dad's not there, right? And it's not like he murdered them for no fucking reason or whatever. He murdered them to get her back because she did something stupid and got herself spirited away. Even if she hadn't done anything to get spirited away, they'd still blame her, you know? But did she actually murder? Well, maybe she wanted the murder. Maybe her daddy did it for her and she was like, good. I don't know. Listen, we don't really know the whole truth. We're going with what the game is telling us right now, but I'm still going to leave a little bit like, I don't know if I 100% believe that it's going to be that simple. You know what I mean? There's always some kind of twist. What's the twist? You know? And maybe the twist is just a bunch of people were murdered by her dad. Maybe that was it. I don't know, though. So, still leaving a little bit of speculation and a little bit of doubt over here, okay? There's a little bubble over here that I'm like, I don't know. If you turn out to be, like, involved somehow and, like, good, ha ha ha, and evil, not gonna be 100% surprised. Just saying. You trust no one anymore. Except for her boyfriends. Because, like, whatever. Despite the danger, she was determined. I knew there was no way I could stop her. I made many mistakes in the past, but now I have a chance to right those wrongs, so I'll be okay. But given what I'd just seen... Seeing any skepticism, Yui continued... Oh, seeing my skepticism. Wow, I can read. Yui continued as if to convince me. I caused myself to be spirited away because I wanted to run away from reality. That decision haunts me even now. As a ghost, I kept running. I couldn't face my father's crimes. I fled during those too. During them? I should have stopped him. Even if it meant cursing him and killing him. Even if it meant eternal damnation and my soul vanishing. Okay, so it kind of almost implies that she was haunting the house, when her father was committing all these crimes. I feel like that's what they're trying to get us to believe, but now it's one of those like, okay, but is that really what happened? So, you saw the murders happen? I died in hell and then came back to this world. I wanted to see my home one last time before crossing over. Okay, so I could, okay, if we're going 100% on fact, like that what they're telling us is 100% fact, there's no secreting things, then, okay, Seiya might have given her, like granted her the ability, okay, you can go back to your home, see it one last time, and then she stayed around because the lingering guilt of what her father did, like she's holding that onto herself. Okay. Realizing she witnessed her father's crimes, I felt a suffocating sadness. The manor was unrecognizable after I disappeared. All the servants were gone. My father... Yui paused, sighing deeply. Her frown pained me to see. I thought about asking her to stop, but Yui continued before I could. My father was worse than I feared. He exhausted his connections searching for me. But seeing as how I disappeared into thin air without a trace, he was unable to find me. Then, those horrible articles from the gossip magazines came out at the worst possible time. Heiress spirited away, ancient rituals of the fishing villages, things like that. It must have been the vulgar tabloids Kureha was talking about. As they say, the drowning grasp at even the weakest of straws. And drowning as he was, my father was willing to grasp at anything. He hired people to research the local legends regarding those who were spirited away. He began consulting spiritualists and faith healers and charlatans. People my father would have never sought the counsel of before. Their advice and strange books led him to a dreadful theory. Her lips quivered, holding back a torrent of emotion. Yui, maybe we should... He started doing something truly horrifying. Her eyes clenched shut. A tear began rolling down her cheek. All I'm saying is, if this isn't fact, and this isn't the way it went down, she's really good at acting. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Because, most of me is prone to believe, okay, no, this is the way they're saying it up. But then there's still a part of me that's like, I don't know, though. Because I've been bamboozled by, characters who just seem like idiots. And you're like, you're too stupid to be able to figure out math. And yet then they've got, whole world domination thing going on. And you're like, what? And so I don't know if I'm going to be bamboozled by adorable girl crying here. So I don't know. It's probably going to be 100% fact, and she's totally innocent, and she's a nice, wonderful girl, and, nothing bad, she did nothing wrong whatsoever, and I'm over here like, oh no, I don't know if I trust this bitch. I just don't know. It's okay. You don't need to say more. The nurse's office door opened, and Kureha stepped in. Kureha, I'm glad you're okay.
Yes, and you too as well.
Kureha's gaze shifted to Yui.
What were you two talking about?
Well, we were talking about my father, Isao Tsukigami.
I was the one who told her about him. I apologize for not talking to you first.
No, I should be the one to apologize. Yui brushed away her tears and bowed to Kureha. I'm sorry for getting you involved in that situation earlier.
That's okay. Why did you act so recklessly? Do you have any idea what could have happened?
I had to. I need to apologize to the victims of my father's actions. I need to help them find peace. I am responsible for my father's sins, as I was the catalyst for them.
Well, you've kept yourself hidden for so long. Why now?
Yui looked at me. Seeing her courage inspired me. She's talking about me? I always struggled with what to do. What can I say to the victims? How can I make amends? I thought about these things over and over in my head, but never had the courage to act. Your actions helped me change all that, but okay. So again, I can fully believe that, because sometimes you just, you have to do something, but you're kind of just stuck in the not being able to do it, and then there's just something that just pushes you to get it done. You know what I mean? So I could believe this, but also still sus of like, yeah, but like exactly why now? Really? Really? I came along and just magically you're okay now? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not 100%. It will 100 because I'm suspicious. It'll 100% be the truth, and she'll be perfectly innocent. And her father will have done all this, and there'll be literally nothing else, no other secret weird twist with her or anything. It'll be face value, doubting the whole time. But I didn't do anything. I'm just desperate to get home. That's exactly it. Your desperation is what I needed. Okay. After pausing, Yui looked at me again, her expression serious. No matter what, I want to help you return to the mortal realm. You have family waiting for you, right? I don't want you to suffer my fate. I understand what sorrow does to those left behind. Her words stirred fear in me. I mean, face value, it seems like a legit story and plausible. 100, you know what I mean? Like, but I started doubting her, so now I don't know what ends up. I need to get home, or something truly terrible might happen. I then realized getting home wasn't just about me. I had a family waiting for me.
Well, there's one thing I'd like to ask you. Have you been back to the mansion since you became a ghost?
Ah, that's right. If Yui had seen the state of the mansion, perhaps she'd seen Kureha too. Ashamed as I am to admit it, I couldn't bear to look at my father's deeds any longer. I returned to hell after that, but then how was she stuck here? When I returned here, a school had been built over the mansion. She said she was ashamed of herself, but I would have run away too. Sorry. No normal person would be able to keep watching. Why do you ask? Kureha shared with Yui the same story it told me earlier. I had no idea. I hope your memories return soon. If I find anything about you, I'll be sure to inform you right away.
Thank you. Well, that would be very helpful.
Kureha, we each had our own struggles, each searching for something precious of our own. In any case, I'll continue searching for the 7 wonders elsewhere. Are you sure you're okay? Perhaps you should rest a bit. I'm actually feeling much better. I feel like I finally found a way to move forward. Yui's smile reassured me, but I exchanged an anxious glance with Kureha. Kureha silently watched as she began to leave. Stopping Yui now would only hinder her in her quest to find peace. Thank you, Yui. Let's do this together. Yui Tsukigami, one of Norimigahama High's 7 wonders, the girl known as the girl in the nurse's office. The only daughter of Asao Tsukigami, she was rather prominent while alive, because she had covered all of the previous school's 7 wonders. But see, why is it always just 7? Anyway, she was spirited away and passed away. She is level-headed and calm. Okay, so it was 7. Yes, thank you. Why is she thanking me? Oh, right. I received this from Seiya. He told me to pass it along to you. She handed me what looked like a white flower. What looked like white flower petals. What are these? It's a Khalifa flower. They grow only in hell and are said to have the power to purify darkness. If something evil like a wraith attacks you, it should be able to protect you one time. I've never seen its power in action, but it should prove useful to you. Khalifa petal. The petal of a flower that blooms in hell. It's said to have the power of purification. Thank you. I'm sure it will. I recalled Seiya saying he needed to talk, and I realized this must have been what it was about. But it's interesting that he didn't give it to us directly. You know what I'm saying? Yui's kindness warmed my heart.
Well, I'll feel better about leaving your side to search for the 7 wonders on my own.
Right, I'll head out too.
You need to rest both your body and mind. I'll return soon.
Though I felt fine, Kureha's concern was clear, and reluctantly I agreed to rest. After Kureha and Yui left, I sat down on the bed. I plopped onto the bed and stared at the ceiling. Thoughts of my family flooded my mind. How long had it been since I vanished from the mortal realm? They must be so worried. I need to get back and put their minds at ease. Despite my newfound resolve, exhaustion from the day overtook me, and drowsiness crept in. I suddenly felt my eyelids grow very heavy. And then I woke up and I was home. And actually, I woke up and I'm home. Feel like this is a dream and not real, but interesting that I said that and here we are. I found myself back in my living room at home. Did I make it back? Thank goodness you're safe. We were so worried about you. Mom? I sprang up and hugged her tightly. I'm so sorry for worrying you. It's all right. Just calm down now. Dinner's ready, so go get changed. Okay. By the way, I submitted your college application while you were missing. Huh? Let's do our best to get you into Sagan University. I bolted upright and looked around. Just a dream. Phew, that's a relief. That caused me to pause. A relief? Why would I say that? It's terrible being stuck here. Yeah, but she ain't ready to go back because she's not ready to confront reality. My heart raced with anxiety. I had totally forgotten about college. Even if I did make it back to reality, would I be faced with challenges there too? Oh, I would be faced with challenges there too, sorry. I took a deep breath to calm my racing heart. Being still like this caused my mind to cycle through negative thoughts. Maybe I should try to relax like Kureha and Hibiki said. I stood up and walked out into the hallway. Oh! Okay, interesting. This is cool. We got a little map segment thing where we can go find Hibiki or we go to the faculty room and talk to Kureha. I'm assuming because we're in Kureha's route or we're trying to get to him, we would go B and do this. Map, go to the faculty room, Kureha. Yeah, okay. I peeked into the faculty room and saw Kureha gazing out the window. Kureha...
It's you. Well, finished with your break.
Yeah, I slept for a bit and feel quite refreshed.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, maybe you should rest a little longer.
More than that, I feel like I need to change my mood. Mind spending some time with me?
Of course. Let's do that.
He smiled, making me feel at ease. It's so soothing to be with Kureha. Thank you. Let's have a little chat then.
Sure. Though I'm afraid I'm not the most interesting person to talk to. What shall we talk about?
Please don't say that. There's plenty about you that's interesting. Like, for example, sword. I'm assuming we choose sword. Yeah, okay. Oh, we just okay. When did you start carrying that sword?
A sword? I've had it ever since I became a ghost.
Really?
I've heard that attachments from life can follow you into death, so this sword must have been important to me.
Memento. Normally, ghosts are not able to touch objects. However, if they have an emotional attachment to them during their lifetime, they can.
No matter how much I think about it, I can't remember anything about this sword.
Kureha's sword. A sword Kureha's had since he became a ghost. Kureha doesn't have memories of when he died and doesn't recognize the sword either. I still think he died before 1949. I mean, I don't know anything about the 40s in Japan, but were Ben just carrying around swords then? Is that like part of the uniform? Like, I'm just saying. Kureha stared down at the sword. Strange. If it was that important to you, he should be able to remember something.
Perhaps I had it with me at the time of my death, and I can't help but wonder why.
I wonder if it's somehow tied to the memories he lost. But it's such a dangerous item. What could have happened with it? As I mulled it over, Kureha chuckled. Either that or that's what stabbed him, and then he's got an emotional attachment to his murder weapon. Like,
trying to figure it out for me.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't help myself, though I doubt I'll be able to come up with anything useful.
That's very kind of you. Just knowing there's someone out there thinking about it for me makes me very happy. I never met someone who would do something like that for me. I guess that's what makes you so special to me.
Really? I'm not sure what to say, but that makes me happy too. But you mentioned you had a friend before. You mentioned you had a friend before. You never talked about this with them?
We avoid discussing personal matters. We don't want to reopen life's old wounds.
Old wounds?
Yes, ghosts often carry scars from life. Perhaps it's something that only the dead can truly grasp.
I guess asking too much might hurt his feelings. I'm sorry. Am I bothering you with my questions, Kureha?
No, you're not like the others. Talking to you is very healing for me.
I was very grateful when he spoke to me like that. I don't think I'm that special. You're just being nice.
Well, you're special to me.
Hearing Kureha say things like that made me feel he was a truly beautiful person. Truly a beautiful person. I mean, he is like, maybe these are just like, he's just being super friendly and nice, but it feels oddly romantic, and I'm okay with it. After that, we continued to enjoy our short little chat together. I'm assuming this is a scene change. Oh, okay. So we're gonna go find Hibiki too. Okay, so it's interesting that they have a map, like, who should I go to talk to? Like, do you get more points for who you talk to first? Because otherwise... Okay, what's the point? Because you're going to both of them. You know what I'm saying? Or like that, asking about the sword, you click it. There's nothing else there. But at the same time, I don't necessarily mind it because it keeps you interacting with the game and it, like, breaks up the, like, big bulks of reading. You know what I mean? Like a normal game, you're reading, you make a choice and it pertains. Like in this one, it's like, there's some choices that you're making that you're gonna make all the options. It's which one do you want to ask first? Or in this case, which one do you want to talk to first? You're going to end up going to both places. But instead of just, oh, and I went and I talked to Kureha, and then, oh, and then I went here and did that. It's like, it pulls you out for a hot second, a little brain refresher to be like, oh, okay, let me pick who I'm going to talk to on the map. And then you go to that scene and then you do that. You know what I mean? But it is odd because it's like, there's not a need for it. But I don't mind that they did it. You know what I mean? Because again, it's a nice little, like, couple second break to be like, oh, who do we want to talk to? You know, I figured with this, it was more like that's then who you're going to get points for that. But if we're talking to both people, then I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? So, and all the time we've been getting points up with both of them. So it's kind of interesting. Well, the point up and the affection up thing, probably if you're going to get to a bad ending, probably. Although we've never made any other saves. Maybe there's a common route bad ending or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. We will continue and talk to Hibiki next time. So remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.